losing is not an option. When he said that shit in the press conference, I was like, I had the goosebumps. I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
oh, baby, talk dirty to me. I freaking love this shit, you know?
ドジャースのキケヘルナンデス選手がアダム・オッタビーノ投手の YouTube チャンネルに出演、ワールドシリーズの裏話や山本由伸投手の凄さについて語りました。その模様を日本語字幕でご覧ください。
I am curious a little bit on a little insight about Yamamoto, really. I mean, look, he came out on 0 days rest and sacked up for everybody. 2 1/3 on the final day. Game 7 was warming up after a complete game shutout in LA. Famously doesn't really lift weights. Has his own routine, has his own trainer. I'm just curious, like watching him go about his business the first 2 years. Like, what's the most impressive part? Is it like a discipline thing? Is it like a mental game thing, or is it like just basically his training style?
For me, I think, you know, like people forget, like, obviously, you come from people knew his name, but like people didn't really know who he was. And like there was a lot of criticism about behind the fact of a guy getting $325 million before throwing a single pitch in the league. And like people forget how like young he was. He came in at like 24 and like 24 is not that old in baseball. Like that is very young. That is very like, people can be very raw at 24 years old. And like he came in and like the one thing that people don't talk about coming into our locker room, it could be an intimidating locker room to come into, bro. Like
Got
there's
stars.
just there's just name after name. I'm like, I think I'm the only one in that locker room. Like, probably me and Miggy Rowe. We're the only two that haven't been all stars. I had like 26 guys. It's wild. And um it's not an easy locker room to come into, especially at 24 years old, coming to a new world because if you go to Japan to visit, you understand like, well, the like life is different, language barriers, like people underestimate the what language barrier can do to you. And like he came in and he's like, hey, I got my routine, and like people might whatever you think, whatever you want to think, but like I'm gonna do my routine. This is what works for me. And he's got a very different one. And he just came in day one and he started doing his thing. And game 7 of the World Series, 2 years, like a full season later, he's doing the same thing. And it's just like the consistency of his work and how focused he is when he's working. It's crazy. Every day you got music in the weight room just blasting, and every day is a different type of music. And of course, the starting pitcher gets to choose his music that day. And like there's just a different type of like when you don't understand the language, music sounds like sounds. And there's just a really lot of different sounds just blasting in your ears. And this dude is just doing all these balance stuffs, breathing out of a straw. Like it is insane. You have people like me behind him trying to make him laugh, trying to like do stuff behind him and like things like that. Um, and he doesn't break. And I mean, when I first saw him, like with that body and this workout style, not lifting weights, I don't know how long he's gonna last. But he's got it down, man. And there's nothing more impressive than watching this dude play catch.
Oh my god. Unbelievable.
He's got the prettiest throw in baseball, and once he's done throwing those javelins, you're gonna have to take 30 minutes to an hour to like out of your time to go outside and watch him play catch because he goes through his shit and like he like comes set and like really thinks about it in between every throw. And like sometimes he doesn't like it and he like steps off even though there's no mound and he gets back into it. And then he just from like 400 feet away, just as if he's throwing a hard plate, and he just throws it on the line, dude. And I mean, the dude is an animal, and obviously he deserves every cent that they gave him. And there's just that little guy, nicest guy in the world, but man, he's got that fu when he's on the mound. That stadium is his, and he's shown it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been obsessed watching him from a distance from a long time. Obviously, the unique delivery, the unique approach, but I mean, back to back to back MVP Sawamura awards in Japan from 21, 22, 23. Like, that's insane. Like, that's a great league over there. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, so like I think he did 6 years over there. I think that's how it works here. The posting system, either 6 or 7, and he's got his 2 years here. He has won the championship more than half of his years in the big leagues, at the big league level, whether in Japan or in the US. The guy is a winner. He wins everywhere he goes. He won the WBC. Like, the guy's a winner.
Yeah.
And like that quote that just came down there by Carlos, losing is not an option. When he said that shit in the press conference, I was like, I had the goosebumps.
Hell yeah.
Oh, baby, talk dirty to me. I freaking love this shit, you know?
I love it.
But that's Yama. That's Yama, man.
It was so sick. So sick to watch. I mean, I did a whole bunch of videos on it because, you know, the combination of velocity, pitch, you know, different pitch types, command, even fielding his position, like there's no weaknesses, there's no cracks. So, oh, and this Jay Farrell also mentions he also won an Olympic gold medal. So all he's done is win, 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 no matter what, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy to see a guy that throws like he's like an overpowering pitcher because he's got stuff, he's got power and stuff, but he's got like almost like Greg Maddux command.
He does.
That's the part that's wild. Like he's just dotting those fastballs down and away, like it's just like he's throwing 90 miles an hour. And he's throwing every pitch at full effort. It just doesn't look that way because his delivery is so consistent and so pretty. But like this dude is pitching like he's throwing in the low 90s at like upper 90s.
All right, let's move on to two plays in the World Series that I'm curious to get your take on. Number one is the play that you ended Game 6 on. I'll show the broadcast and I'll show the high home because were you playing shallow on your own here?
Yeah, I mean the card had me playing shallow, but after the game I asked, "Do you know Evil, the like he's in charge of the outfielders?" I was like, "Hey, bro, like I banged the card," and I was like, "Played." I said, "I'm not. I'm gonna." Like I thought to myself, I was like, I gotta be willing to answer some tough questions after this game if I get a ball over my head because I'm basically telling the front office, screw you. I'm gonna play where I think I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then well, that was the end of me as a Dodger, you know? But like I cannot let I gotta put myself in a position to where if a ball gets hit in front of me, I keep the runner that's at second, at third, but I'm also in a good position where I don't have to go for it with a throw to home plate. I can make a strong low throw and keep the batter runner at first because he's the winning run. So I
Yeah.
said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play in," and then I turned out to be 7 feet in front of where they wanted me to play.
I love your baseball instincts here because you're right. Look, it's Jimenez. He's probably not going to burn you here with a ball over your head. More than likely, he's looking to make a little contact, spray it the other way, drive these runs in with a single. So I think you played it perfectly, honestly. I mean, obviously, you did.
To me was like if you go back to when Glass is on his like when he's coming set like with Glass now on the mound and well high home like to me Glass now's heater like his extension, but look how big that gap, that hole between shortstop and third base is.
Yeah, massive. You could drive a truck through
Every
it.
scenario every scenario that was in my head, it was never a fly like a ball in the air. Every scenario that I ran and through in my head before this pitch was like he's gonna hit a ball in between short and third.
Yeah, you're seeing that
Like
gap right in front of you.
it looks massive. Like Glass is, his shit plays up a lot, so guys tend to be late. He's coming out of the pen, so he's probably gonna be 1 or 2 miles per hour harder. Like I was just like, I need a ground ball. I need to keep him at third because Barger is, at second base is fast, and Jimenez is fast at home plate. I was like, I need to be able to not let those guys get more than 90 feet. And luckily for me, the crowd went a little quiet right as like when at release, and it got quiet enough to where I could hear the bat break, and I was able to get that read. And then in left field, I'm just playing shortstop or third base out there, and I have the whole field in front of me, and I don't even have to like really look at where the runners are to like feel where they're at. And I felt like he got a big lead at second base, and I gave a quick short throw. I try to make a better throw, but I gave him a decent enough throw. I think if he goes as a first baseman and he like steps into like me, he might not have such a hard pick, but he caught it. We won. That's all that matters.
He's got those monos, man. He really does. And
It does.
one thing that was very telling to me on this play is if you watch the mechanics of everybody else on the field, everybody else thought this ball was a hit off the bat. Like literally, Muncy goes to line up to home. Literally, Glasnow's starting to run back pedal to get behind home. Like obviously, they had a little confusion on the base paths. So you made it look easy because your jump was so good and your positioning was so good. But definitely off the bat, this ball read like a hit to most of the people on the field. Which I thought was interesting to see. Like not even just the base runner, like even some of the fielders on the Dodgers as well. So I don't know, just a
No,
great.
Sometimes I don't believe analytics because it said I have 40% catch probability. I'm like, bro, like that ball not only I catch in the air without sliding, but I caught it up here. Like, how is that 40% chance? You're telling me 60% of the chance that ball, 60% of the time that ball drops?
Yeah, it's BS. It's just a combination of exit velocity and launch angle. Like all the exit velocity and launch angles in general, like it takes out Baseball Savant doesn't use direction. So it's just like this ball could be in the gap, it could be you could be playing deep or whatever, and that's kind of why it probably grades it that way. But yeah, they got to work on that catch probability stuff. It's not
Yeah.
ideal. All right, and then the second one obviously is the play where you get tackled by Pajes, and I've maintained, and I know you maintain as well, that you were catching this ball, but this ball
Yeah.
was in the air for an awful long time, and
Luckily.
man, and you see Yoshi's reaction, of course, was like a little bit like praying for this ball to come down in a glove. But you were also playing in here as well, a little shallow here.
I was playing about normal, but the problem was the location of the pitch. Like obviously, like me as a defender, and like I'm not the fastest guy. Like I depend on reading swings, and like the pitch from left field looked like it was gonna bounce.
It almost bounced, yeah.
And like Ernie has this like not weird swing, but he's got like this swing where like almost like he's so short to the ball that it almost looks like he's like half swinging every time.
Yeah, he's got no
And
load.
I
He
had
just kind of goes pop.
y-
Yeah.
right, and I had he probably dropped 7 balls in front of me this series, and like I saw the pitch and I thought that it was like a off the end bloop, so like I took like a half false step in, and then I rapidly realized, oh shit, I gotta go for this ball. But, like, I mean, I ran and I ran forever, and I realized that the ball was enough towards the gap where I wasn't gonna run into the wall,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Sure enough, the only thing I gotta worry about is the wall."
Yeah,
And
you ran a
I
long
I
way.
forgot I forgot I had a teammate, but, yeah, I mean, I'm not the type of guy, like, if I would say that I didn't have it, but, I mean, you look at the angle, and I'm, like, slowing down already because I have the ball. I'm just getting in a position to, like,
Yeah, to
I'm
back the
gonna have
pitch.
to I'm gonna have to Willie Mays it. I'm just trying to get in a better enough angle to where like the basket catch is gonna be somewhat comfortable. And Bias took me out, but like I went down. He didn't hit me that hard. I just went down because both my feet were kind of off the ground because I'm like trying to slow down and
Yeah.
time the ball, and like both of my feet were kind of off the ground, and that's why like I went flying. And
Yeah.
of course, I thought we lost the game, so I'm just
So that's what you're
depressed.
doing here. You're on the ground like crap. We lost.
Yeah, you've been on the like I'm sure like when you're on the mound like things like that happen, like, it feels like an eternity and so many things go through your head. Like, one of the first things that came to my head was, this is how the World Series ended, and this video is gonna show up, like, it's gonna be replayed forever, and we lost the World Series, meanwhile, I got tackled, and this video is just gonna show forever, and I was just very sad at the moment,
Yeah.
and I went into a deep depression for, like, 10 seconds there. So Paez was like, "Hey, bro, are you alright?" I was like, "Yeah, did you catch it?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, what am I doing here then?"
Dude, that was crazy, man. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I actually thought it was a great job by Dave to be honest, continuing to manage in that spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Not forgetting.
Paez came in the game for his arm, not for his gloves, because we were in a bases loaded, less than 2 out situation where fly ball, you need to be able to throw the guy out, so we took Tommy out, and we brought in Paez for his arm, and it ended up being his legs and his glove that, potentially saved the season if, for those people that think that I couldn't catch it, Paez's legs and glove saved us.
I thought it was great either way, but I definitely thought you had it. Yeah, so
And,
I saw your post. Obviously, no WBC. That's got to be a little disappointing.
yeah, that was devastating. So when I went in for my post World Series MRI, like my exit physical, the MRI showed kind of the same as the MRI in July as far as like the damage, but it was hard to tell because it looked like a weather forecast. It was so white. There was so much swelling that it was super white. And right there and there, I was like, they gave me a 50-50 chance of like recovering without surgery. And of course, that was my decision. I was torn because I didn't know what to do. I really wanted to play in WBC. Like from the bottom of my heart, like playing the WBC at home in Puerto Rico has been as big a dream of mine as playing in the World Series. And I played 2 WBCs and I never got the chance to play in Puerto Rico, and this time around, we brought it back to Puerto Rico, so that was like, "Man, I don't know what to do." And I was like, "Doc, I'm gonna need a couple of days to think about it. Hopefully my family can make a decision for me." And sure enough, yeah, I talked to my wife, I talked to my parents, and then I talked to my agents, and I let them decide. And as you remember in boxing, when I hurt my core, I played a couple more years after that like that, not knowing that I needed surgery. I ended up getting surgery 3 seasons after the fact. So they were like, "You're not doing this again." And
Yeah.
I mean, going into the surgery, it was like a week between MRI and surgery day, and I was like second guessing myself. I was like, "Man, every day that goes by, I feel better and better. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. I think I might be screwing it up by getting surgery." Sure enough, as soon as he went in, I needed the surgery, and I'm glad I did it.